This is an absolute heist for the Chicago Bulls, as there has been a ton of trade talk surrounding one of their best players in Coby White, with his contract coming to an end. And with multiple teams showing interest, the Chicago Bulls are now in the perfect position to strike on an excellent trade, according to a new report that we are going to go over, amidst a whole lot else on all the implications behind this. And we're going to jump right into it, wasting no time. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Bulls Digest. And if you're part of that 72% that's not subscribed to Bulls Digest, make sure to subscribe for daily Chicago Bulls updates. We know it's that part of the offseason where things can get slow, but there is still a bunch of Bulls news coming out between the Coby White, Nikola Vucevic, and obviously Josh Giddey situations. So make sure to subscribe and have those post notifications on so you do not miss a single Chicago Bulls update. With all that being said, let's jump into the video. There is a lot to go over with the Bulls right now. As we know, the Bulls have a very tough decision coming up in regards to a lot of their players. Obviously, Nikola Vucevic, we know, is not long for the Chicago Bulls. There's no way really around it. Vuce should go beyond a winner. He's 35 years old. He's still a very, very good center, especially on the offensive end. And even though the Bulls can't really find a trade partner for him, it is in their best interest to keep Vuce on the roster, at least until they can find a trade for him. Because at the end of the day, we really, really can see a world where Vuce does get moved. At the end, he'll be an expiring deal, so there's that to consider, on top of the fact that when you look at a guy like Vuce, teams will start to show interest, and those $20 million per year contracts, those are a lot easier to come by nowadays, and there's definitely a few teams that you could look at. For instance, one off the top of the head that we're about to talk about is the Miami Heat, who do have that Terry Rozier contract. I mean, they could attach a pick to that, and all of a sudden the Bulls are getting a good move there with an expiring deal. But that's not the move we're here to talk about today, or the player we're here to talk about today. The player we're here to talk about is Coby White. As we know, Coby White has found himself in an interesting situation with the Bulls. After being one of the best players on the team last year, White is going to be an expiring contract, and because of his first extension, he can only be offered 4 years, $89 million per year. I believe it's $89.2 million per year. As we know, Coby White is a better player than that contract and will look elsewhere in free agency, where he would be able to get paid more than what the Bulls are paying him, meaning he's going to leave in free agency from Chicago if they don't decide to trade him, meaning it's time for the Bulls to explore trading Coby White. And an awesome trade for the Bulls recently came in the form of the Chicago Bulls landing Nikola Vucevic and Simone Fontecchio in exchange for Coby White. Now, off the bat, this does not look like a lot to land for Coby White, but trust me, I follow the Heat very closely, and Nikola Vucevic is the type of guy that you want to trade for right now. Look, I'm telling you right now, if you're a Bulls fan, if you're not a Bulls fan, I really am surprised you're watching this, and shout out to you. Thank you so much for watching. For the non-Heat fans out there, myself, make sure to buy Nikola Vucevic stock. This dude is going to pop off. That, I will really die on that hill right now. Nikola Vucevic is about to be that dude. Now, this trade was explained by Zach Buckley, who mentioned that prior to the additions of Buzelis and Noah Essengay, Coby White arguably looked like Chicago's most promising building block, yet the 25-year-old is no longer seems centered on the long-term plans, due in no small part to the fact that unrestricted free agency awaits him after the upcoming season with that contract stipulation. And maybe that motivates the Bulls brass to go get something for White now and not risk losing him for nothing later. They could be getting quite a bit here, as Vucevic flashed a really interesting mix of size at 6'10", shot-making, ball handling, and Fontecchio holds an obvious bounce-back potential after losing more than 6 points off of his three-point percentage at 33.5, down from 40.1 in the 2023-24 season. Now, on top of that, we also look at the fact that Miami, meanwhile, they might balk on covering the cost of Jovic's next contract. He'll be a restricted free agent if he isn't extended by October 20th, particularly if it plans on starting Kel'el Ware alongside Bam Adebayo again. The Heat had an opportunistic offseason, but they could still use that kind of on-ball creation that Coby White brings and bring them more of a true guard, as I see Tyler Hero more as a two-guard myself. Now, you look at White's stats in the year, and they were good. He put up 20 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. Got a steal, shot 37% from three, and 45% from the field. Nobody is doubting that Coby White is an absolutely excellent player in the NBA. But we're not looking at those numbers. We're looking at these numbers. After February 15th, after the All-Star break, what we saw Coby White do. The man put up 24.5 points per game once Zach Lavine was off that team, and he became the really main scoring focus. He also still got 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He shot 91% from the free throw line. White's always been one of the best free throw shooters in the league. 37% from 3 and 49% from the field. We did not see the efficiency dip, but we did see the scoring go up. The Bulls have a chance to capitalize on this situation, trading White to a team that desperately could use another scoring guard, with there being a lot of those teams out there. It's not just the Miami Heat. There's a bunch of teams that are trying to contend. For instance, a team like the Milwaukee Bucks, who you could totally try to talk to and try to get draft assets out of in exchange for the services of White. There's a lot of contending teams or teams that want to be contending teams right now that could use that scoring punch and just overall 3-level creation that Coby White brings to a team. The Heat are one of those teams, and you find yourselves in a situation to really get a lot back for him. When we look at White, we know that he's not long for the Bulls. This is his last year on the team, regardless if he makes it throughout the season or not. So with that in mind, it makes the most sense to move on from Coby White right now, or wait until the deadline if the price gets higher. But Jovic is an absolute madman. In 16 minutes in Serbia, he outplayed his center on that team, Nikola Jokic. Jovic put up 18 points per game, which was a game high. Got 4 rebounds and 6 assists. Got a steal, shot 6 for 8 from the field, and 3 for 4 from the 3. Both 75% marks. Didn't miss a free throw and had a plus 36. Nikola Jovic, I'm telling you, is that guy. Do not sleep on Nikola Jovic under any circumstances whatsoever. On top of that, we look at how Simone Fontecchio played overseas. Things did not look good over the first half of the game, where he had 0 points and went 0 for 6 from the field. But he's a guy who you could try to get on a bounce back, and also is not on too long of a contract. And if you pick up Fontecchio, it gives the Heat more reason to take on White and give away Jovic at the same time. And Jovic is who you're trading for here. He put up 11 points per game last year, 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Has steadily grown as a player, shooting now 37% from 3 and 45% from the field on higher marks, and also 48% on corner threes. This would be a guy that Josh Giddey would be able to set up as the team's power forward. We move Matas Buzelis to that small forward role, and then all of a sudden we just figure out who the starting shooting guard is without Coby White. I mean, you could go Isaac Okoro, add more defense in there. There's a few different routes that you could go with that. You could try for Kevin Huerter and hope that his shooting bounce back. You could try for Simone Fontecchio and hope his shooting bounces back after a terrible season from Fontecchio, playing inconsistent minutes with the Pistons. He only put up 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist per game. His defense isn't really there. He's a guy who was there to hit threes, but last season he was not hitting threes and has struggled to get his form back. There's been some rumors of him going back overseas because of his struggles in the NBA, and that he'd be more comfortable probably playing in Italy or Europe or back in the continent and side of the world that he's from, which is totally understandable. I bet a lot of people in America would do the same thing if given the opportunity to do so. He shot 40% from the field and 33.5% from 3. But while he'd be on the Bulls would have a chance to build him back up, and like Kevin Huerter, have a guy you'd be able to sell off at the trade deadline if he's playing well enough to a team that could use the extra shooting and offensive punch. Overall, it's a great trade for the Bulls, because something we do have to be real about when it comes down to things, we're not netting picks for Coby White. He's still going to be a free agent at the end of the year. The best we could do is a young player. And a young player like Nikola Jovic, who's not some jaw-dropping young player as of right now, but is very sneaky going to become one. That is the type of guy you go for. Guys, I'm telling you, buy stock in the man, Nikola Jovic, right now. I love this trade for the Bulls. Absolutely love it. What do you think? If you don't like it as much, I'm telling you, it's because you're not ready for the Nikola Jovic breakout that is coming. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. I will catch you later.